So I was standing there getting ready for the mountain, and I was like, I'm
palms are
either going to
sweaty.
have a freaking panic attack. Yeah. I was like, I'm either going to have a panic attack or I'm going to achieve the greatest moment of my life. I'm not sure.
Good as Gold's the official Gold's Gym Australia podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Good as Gold's podcast. We are your hosts, Em and Cal.
Yeah, huge episode today. We have the Australian Ninja Warrior winner, Ben Polson. We're going to talk all things training, visualization, bullying, and of course, how to win $400,000.
This is an episode you do not want to miss. Strap yourself in. Let's welcome in Ben. Ben, thank you so much for joining us. You are the first guest on the podcast.
Super exciting times.
Welcome
Guys,
in.
good to
How
be
are
here.
you?
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm doing fantastic.
Good. So, please introduce yourself. Tell the
Yes.
people who you are.
Who am I? Good question. I'm still trying to figure that out.
I think we all are.
No, I think
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm mainly known from Ninja Warrior. That's where most people know me from. Australian Ninja Warrior. I've done 5 seasons now, and I was fortunate enough to win the 4th season and take out the grand champion prize along with $400,000, which also helped change my life slightly. Well, not slightly, quite a lot. And then I've kind of transitioned from that over to now putting a lot of my time and energy into everything that I've learned over the years from Ninja. I'm passing that knowledge on to other people through mainly videos and YouTubing. And I have creative passions like making music as well.
Yep.
I had a bit of a side hustle career of music before Ninja, so I've lived a few lives.
Nice. Because that would kind of like coincide. Like Ninja by night, you would usually think, but you would like DJ night, Ninja daytime.
That's right. All those years of DJing and staying up late, prepared me for the mental battle of Ninja Warrior, all 5 seasons. So, yeah.
That's amazing. So, Ben, let's go back. I want to go back to your younger years. Talk to us a little bit about what your world was like kind of growing up, I guess from, early childhood all the way up until, I guess, now.
Good question. Yeah. A few juicy details in the old childhood, isn't there? I think, growing up, I was very much... I haven't been diagnosed, but I'm sure I'd be somewhere on the spectrum of ADHD. I was in the back of the class, leaning on my chair, fiddling with my pen, playing finger skateboards, just not concentrating. And then when it came to like phys ed or some sort of media related thing, I would crush it, and I loved it. And so high school probably wasn't exactly my jam. I got, moving from primary school to high school was a big change because all of a sudden you're a smaller kid in a bigger pond, and people aren't so nice all the time. And so I started to find out what anxiety was and what sad feelings were, and being scared to go to school because a lot of the bullies kind of came out and started to tease me for the way I looked, and the things that I was into, like playing the trumpet and juggling and magic, all the things which get the ladies going.
Yeah.
Hello. Have we heard of Timmy Trumpet? He's like the biggest DJ ever playing the trumpet. Are you kidding?
That's very true. Maybe if I stuck at it, I had something in the trumpet game. But so unfortunately, I went through a fair few years of pretty intense bullying, where day to day I was pretty scared to go to school. I'd cry myself to sleep at night, and I was just quite afraid to walk around every corner, just because there was a select few people which would always make remarks and kind of point me out. If the teacher left the class, I would just freeze, because I knew that all of a sudden it's free reign for those bullies to immediately turn around and make jokes about me. So, but what that taught me, though, is as much as it sucked at the time, it built up a huge amount of resilience at a young age. Sure. And I think that mental fortitude that it built up of learning, of being forced on how to deal with that kind of stuff, really stuck with me as I moved then out of high school and started to put my energy into health and fitness, and joined a gym. And started kind of putting it into that direction, which then slowly transitioned year after year into Ninja Warrior, and not being afraid of taking on a challenge, because I was challenged so much in high school.
Yeah. So obviously, like, finishing high school was kind of a turning point for you to just, that whole side of possibly being bullied or whatever would be gone. And then I guess you were like free to do or find push more of your...
free to be whoever you wanted to be as
without
well.
having that cloud hanging over.
It's a great way to put it. It totally was freedom because, especially... freedom as far as I now have time to do what I want, but also there's no one around me telling me that I shouldn't be doing that or laughing at me when, I upload a video of me juggling and I'm so proud of it. And then the kids at school discover that video and start teasing me about it. And so I immediately delete it, there's none of that around you. And what ends up happening is, especially when you join, for me, it was a gym and finding the right gym where then all of a sudden, these are my people, there's not a room full of random kids which all have random different interests which clash. These are the people which I can get along with because we have this passion around fitness and health. And so I started to make more friends within those kind of circles. And they were true friends, they weren't just kind of people I had to hang out with at school.
Being surrounded by that positive community. And it's funny, we see it, a lot I know, I'm guessing from what I'm hearing, they put you down, but it didn't stop you from pursuing what you wanted to do, right? So, you wanted to juggle. You do it, and I'm sure they put a dampener on it because they'll be like, you suck because you juggle. But, and putting that into, say, perspective of going to a ninja gym or a new gym where you're new people, new moves, new techniques.
Yeah.
It's a different type of it's encouragement, right? They're you nearly got there. Let's try it again, as opposed to be you suck, never come back. And it's just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a balancing act in a sense of
it is totally different. You're right. And I was fortunate to have really awesome parents which supported me, especially my dad. He was just super stoked as soon as I showed interest in sports. Yeah. So he was always he was the dad which taking me down to the park and working on my, my batting technique or this or that or how to kick a footy. But then, you're totally right. Once you kind of leave high school, the real world opens up and it's up to you what you want to do and who you want to surround yourself with. And finding a place like Ninja Academy, which is the first ninja gym I discovered in Osborne Park in Perth, that place just changed my entire life. It really changed my life. And a big part of that is the community that comes along with Ninja, not just the physical aspect, but also... it's one thing rocking up to a gym and just trying to motivate yourself. It's another thing rocking up and seeing all your best mates and swinging around like monkeys.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I want to know if you could go back 10 years ago, even 15 years ago, when you were getting bullied, what would you tell your younger self?
Great question. I think, I feel like there's kind of two parts to this. The first part is the immediate tangible things that you can do as a kid, because I think far too often people just say just ignore it, and it's not really super practical advice for kids, because it's hard to ignore. So I think the first part is mentioning to your friends or whoever that you feel that you can trust. Just letting them know what's going on and how you're feeling. And especially if those people start to maybe make a couple of remarks, jokes, they're your friends. They should be the people which you feel comfortable and calling them out and going, hey, when you said that, actually, I just want to let you know that I didn't appreciate it. Because I've also been in a situation where I've made jokes about my mates and I just think it's a joke. And they end up coming and telling me, a couple of days later, hey, actually, that really affected me. Yeah. And that changed who I was because I was like, wow, maybe I'm doing that more often than I originally thought.
I'm hurting people I really love.
Yeah, totally. So definitely talking about it and mentioning it, not just bottling it up is one thing. Yeah. And then also the more long-term thing which changed for me was changing my perspective on what a bully actually is and who that person is. Yeah. Because we see them as this big scary thing which is just surrounding us and they're up here. But in reality, people don't wake up. If people wake up and they're happy, they don't go around making mean mistakes, you know? So generally I started to realize, well, these people probably aren't that happy themselves and maybe they go home and get bullied by their parents or their dad. And I started to feel empathetic for these people because I would hate to be walking around being mean to people. It wouldn't feel very good for me. So I started to feel empathy for these people and eventually it kind of lowered them from up here and being scary to then down here and I want to help them out, you know?
Yeah.
But that was a long-term process.
Oh, totally.
And
Yeah, I find that like it's so interesting because like in school, don't you reckon that like this was the be all and end all, right? Like you going like your friendship circles, all different parts of school.
The hierarchy of like where you fit in at school. You think it's super important, and then you finish, and it's like, oh, I'm just a lonely boy.
Yeah, nothing matters kind of to a degree, you know, and it's like so interesting because, you know, normally when people are bullied after school, they go on to do great things because they're like, you know what, I am not letting a school bully be the reason why I'm not successful.
Yeah. And I think you nailed it.
And that's a testament to you. Yeah.
Huge that you were able, I guess, to eventually see it at that point, but also then having that like empathy to be like, oh, they were hurting and that's why they treated me like this way. I think that's huge.
Yeah. And it's you know, it's very true. And I think, and it's not easy to do just like that. Of course you don't just walk around and all of a sudden you've got a new perspective and it changes things. But yeah, I mean, I find that these days I don't get excited when someone says something mean, but I enjoy it a lot more than I used to because for me, I see that as an immediate sign of how can I help this person?
Totally. Wow.
And I've had crazy stories of, you know, I get mean comments or messages or whatever from time to time. And there was one kid in particular who just kept messaging me on Instagram every time I posted something was just negative stuff like, you suck, that's lame, blah, 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 right? And so I replied to this kid with a voice message, which first of all, he probably didn't expect me to reply at all. And then I hit him with a voice message, which is even more personal.
Yes.
And I didn't acknowledge what he said. I just said, hey man, I just want to reach out and just see how you're doing, how your week's going. Just sending you some love from Australia. You know, thanks for reaching out.
Wow.
And he came back with another negative comment, blah, 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 something, but I just left it, right?
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, he messaged me and with this massive message just saying, hey, I'm so sorry. I just had a really weird week. I feel so bad. You're actually such a lovely guy. You know, blah, blah, blah. And he just told me all these details about what he's been going through. And I was like, there we go.
Yeah, I've seen that before where
it's like the classic kill him with kindness.
Yeah, people will bully on social media and then they'll be like, hey, I really hope you're well. And they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to send this to you. Or like, you know, it's like, you did. You purposely went out of your way to be cruel. It's just not nice.
That's right.
Well, I want to know, like, let's go to Ninja Academy now. Yeah. So what made you want to actually, like, what was the point that you're like, hey, I want to go try this out? Because, like, Ninja, like, how long ago was that?
That would have been maybe like 6 years ago, coming up on 6 years. So maybe like 2015 to 2016, around that zone.
Because like ninja gyms weren't really all that popular back then, right?
No.
Yeah.
In fact, like I had seen this show on like SBS late at night, like the Japanese version, Sasuke, which is awesome, right? And they're dirty, murky water.
And they have to like run across the lily pads and they sink and
totally, so I love that stuff, and that's where it originated, and then it moved to America and got like kind of, you know, westernized, and I was watching that, and so then when a gym, my mate Will messaged me and he's like, yo, there's this place called like Ninja Academy, I might go check it out if you want to come check it out, and so I was like, yeah, well, sure, why not, and that was probably at end of 2015, and so I drove there, rocked up. I was like one of the first people to ever check it out. Met the owner. And I remember actually at the time, the owner his name is Dave Ravi. And I remember meeting him, and at the time I was doing CrossFit. I was doing a lot of CrossFit, really enjoying it. And I remember saying to Dave, I was like, hey, it's a cool gym. I might sign up, but just to let you know, I change a lot. Like I lose interest in things pretty quickly. So I'll probably only sign up for like 6 months.
Don't be offended.
We'll see how it goes, right? And he took that as a massive insult. He's like, here's this guy rocking up telling me that he's probably not even going to stick around that long. And here I am 6 years later, like still going to that gym.
Wow.
So he did a good job. But I think just turning up and trying out a few things, and coming from originally out of high school, it was like just lifting weights, want to get big and strong. And then it was to CrossFit, more like I guess I call it functional movement, you know, not just strength-based stuff. And then into Ninja, which is even less weight, lifting heavy weights based on even more on the functional body weight stuff. So I think it was a pretty smooth transition. And before I knew it, I was doing pretty well in local comps, and then I started winning local comps, and then I was like, damn boy, like I got to start taking this serious. And then the show came out, season 1, like 9 months later. So it was good timing.
And that's so amazing. The show came out, you heard it was coming up. How do you
Yeah, how do you approach it even?
Yeah, like how would I go about getting into it?
Yeah, sure. It's, here we are like coming up on season 6, and it's still the exact same process. So essentially what happens is, you apply online and fill out hours worth of paperwork.
I bet.
And answer all these ridiculous questions. And then you do a physical test. So they'll come around to your city.
Sick.
And they do an interview process, which was terrifying at the time, like so nervous. Yeah. And then they do a physical test, which ranges year after year, but it's generally like testing your muscular endurance, hanging on a bar for a long time. Yeah. They might do some skipping and some coordination and just general fitness stuff. It doesn't play it plays a bit of a part in whether you get on the show or not, but not a massive part. I think the biggest deciding factor is your personality and who you are, which I know a lot of people that watch Ninja Warrior are upset by, because they're like, well, surely the fittest people should get on the show because it's more entertaining. But I think I disagree. I think I would rather see, old Joe Blow who drives a bus every week, rocking the ninja course instead of, 100 personal trainers.
Athletes. Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
Yeah. And I think, it's going to sound so cliche, but that's reality TV. Like it comes down to it. Like I would rather see that same thing too. Like I know, like personally, you would know people who could like ace parts of life, but I would rather see regular people competing or trying their best.
Doing like extraordinary things.
Yeah, I think I saw like Paul Gallen, like a football player do it. And he got like 2 places in. I'm like, that's still cool because the guy's a goat when it comes to football, but not necessarily on the ninja course.
No.
That's right.
I want to know though, so obviously you've hit the gym, you've been fit for a while and been doing all your things. You got into Ninja Warrior. When did it become, like you were saying, like you've tried a lot of different things? You know how you're telling your guy at the gym, and when did it stick? Or like when was you like, this is my, I don't want to say box, because you're definitely not a box guy, but like this is my
multiple boxes.
A niche almost like.
My niche, yeah. Good question, like I said, well, like you just mentioned, I honestly thought I was probably only going to be there for 6 months, because at the time I was just like loving CrossFit. It was just so awesome. And I came a point where I had to make the decision, do I keep doing CrossFit or do I do Ninja? What's the point here? And I chose Ninja, and I think the biggest factor was definitely because of the community that it brought. And I know it sounds cliche, and to the people listening, you've probably heard this 1,000 times, but it's just the truth, because at the time I was also dealing with a lot of mental health issues, a lot of anxiety, and I didn't know how to control that. And being in that space at Ninja Academy, I would literally just go there on my days off and just hang out in that space because it was such a nice space to be in, And your entire environment really does change your mood. Like even recently, I've been editing a lot of videos, and in this office space, it's okay, but it's also can get dark and lonely. So I'll go to a cafe and do some work there, and I feel way better. So I think that was a big part of it. It was just for my mental health. It was seeming to do really positive things. And they also had a rock climbing wall there as well. So I started to get more into rock climbing, and they had a gymnastics floor. So I started learning how to flip.
Awesome.
And it was just full of things. It was like a massive playground for adults.
It sounds like a bunch of, I want to go.
Yeah, this sounds fun.
But I think I would definitely be the person just like stand there to watch, but like get the vibes from everyone. Like just be like, this is a sick place.
Look, I'd give it a crack. I'd give it a crack. Well, Callum, actually, you did calisthenics, right?
Yeah.
For how many years?
Calisthenics.
Calisthenics is the word we like to say around here.
A classic just shortens to Cali, right? But, Cali. So probably 2 years.
Okay, nice.
But like even watching, like I've seen your stuff, Ben. I've seen what you do, Cal. It takes some serious strength. What was like your, oh my God, I can actually, like, I feel like in CrossFit, a muscle up is something that like when you've done a muscle up, you're like, I am now a part of CrossFit. I am CrossFit. But like, what was your point where you were like, okay, I am a Ninja Warrior. Like I'm doing these things and that I never thought I would be able to do. Do you remember like one specific point?
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, first of all, I remember learning my first muscle up during CrossFit, and that was a hell of a moment.
I know, I'm telling you.
Stoked.
It's kind of like the 100 club. Like when you bench press 100, you're just like, I'm Adonis.
Yeah. That's right. I'm the champ.
I'm basically the goal. No.
Exactly. But I think for Ninja, look, everyone's going to have their own individual one. For me, I started to realize, wow, I'm full ninja mode now, because there's no way I could have done this like at the start of my ninja journey.
Totally.
Was when I did a 4 meter lache. So a lache is from bar to bar, release and catch.
So
and
swing, fly through
so you're
the
swinging
air.
on a bar, then
you're
you
a monkey.
release, fly through the air and catch another bar 4 meters away. And
meters.
when I hit that, I was like, hell yeah.
Okay.
Like, let's go. This is ninja mode right here.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with that. So
Because this is the other thing, is like looking at being a viewer of Ninja Warrior, I'm like, each stage I look at and I'm like, I could give that a crack. I probably could do that one. But then watching you guys do it like
doing it all.
one after another,
Totally.
you know what I mean? It's just like, not like the fatigue on your forearms is like insane. But then even, just backing it up, it's insane to see.
Yeah.
And on a time limit, because you have to get the fastest time to proceed, right?
yeah.
Every time. So there's like, it's crunch
Yeah.
time.
It's, and it's funny because a lot of the best ninjas are also very fast. And it's no coincidence because, one of the most famous ninjas we all love in Australia, his name is Ashlyn Herbert.
Yeah.
And he's the guy with the long kind of curly hair.
Yeah.
He's very, very good looking. Ashlyn, shout out to you if you're watching.
Yeah.
And he is ridiculously fast. And it's because when you're doing ninja, there's a few factors which kind of come into whether you're successful to even get to the end and hit a buzzer. And one of them is the obvious one, which is your strength and endurance. And everyone focuses on that. Everyone that watches the show that doesn't do it just knows you need to be strong and have good forearm endurance. The other factor, which I consider even more important, is your technique on the obstacles.
Yeah.
Because if your technique isn't very good, you fall back on the thing that you know really well, which is your strength.
Yep.
And so you end up just trying to muscle your way through a lot of things and you gas out really fast. And then people think, well, then I just need to train strength more because I keep gassing out. But actually, they don't need to train strength more. They need to train their technique to be better so they use less of their strength. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. And then the third factor is the mindset and your mentality, because during a training session, you're super relaxed, your heart rate's low and you can cruise through obstacles. But when you get to the show, your heart rate is flying. And it's, all
The
those things,
adrenaline.
all your endorphins are running and you grip harder. You forget, you hold on and you do extra swings because you're nervous.
Yeah.
And
Stress.
You'd
all
like
of those
start
factors.
overthinking. Like if you just walked into your local ninja gym and someone was like, do a 4 meter lache, and you'd be like, I'll give it a go. But like, I can imagine under the
time.
pressure, you'd be like, can I do this?
Can I even do this?
Can I actually do this?
Totally, yeah.
How do you cope with the pressure? Like, do you have a ritual before every season? Like before every
A
comp?
pump up.
Yeah, like is there a pump up song? Like give us your secrets.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we were saying earlier, we all know one particular ninja by the name of Rain Ashur.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants some advice on how to pump up before a ninja course, just go talk to that guy. Because
Okay.
Shirts off,
when I'm in the
tights
green
on.
room, he looks fantastic, and he brings that energy to the green room as well, which is the room that we sit in before we go out and perform. And everyone has different things, like some people will be sitting there meditating, and other people like Raina will be headphones on just dancing. I kind of combine a bit of the both. So my process now is usually in the afternoon of the night that we're going to run. Might be like 5 o'clock. We'll all go out and we'll see the course for the very first time. And we don't get to touch anything. We just get to see it from the sideline.
Yeah.
And the people running the course will perform each obstacle once, tell us the rules. If we have any questions, we ask them there. And so during that process, for me, it's extremely, extremely important. Like watching that will heavily determine whether I'm going to be successful on that night or not.
Yeah.
And I'll go back in the green room and I'll sit there and pretty quickly I'll sit down, put some headphones on, close my eyes and just visualize everything that I just
Yeah, I was
saw.
about to say
So
that.
it's just
Visualize
stuck
it,
in my mind. And I'll visualize
Do you
myself.
literally like doing it? Like do you visually be like, okay, jump here, then scoop through that?
Yeah. Have you guys done visualization before or used it in any sort of way or?
Yeah.
Bits and pieces.
Yeah. We don't have anything major that you like.
Not like
you.
highly coordinated, like that relies heavily on like mapping out like a course, like. I'm intrigued.
So I'll pretty much, as you described, I'll sit there and visualize myself on the starting platform, even from like the wave, hey, how are ya? Little boogie move, whatever kind of calms me down. And then when I hear the beep, I'll visualize like, okay, well, what were the steps? There were this and this. So then I'll start with my left, I'll move to my right, and then I'll kind of run through that. If something goes wrong, or if I think, well, what if something goes wrong in this part of the obstacle? What would I do in order to get my way out of it? I'll kind of visualize that sometimes, just so I don't freak out if it were to happen. And then I go all the way through the course in my mind, and then all the way till I hit the buzzer. And this is the important thing. I get to the end, I climb up the wall, I hit the buzzer, and I get really excited, and I literally feel those emotions as I'm sitting there in the green room closing my eyes, and I get super pumped.
Oh my gosh. This is giving me goosebumps.
Yeah. He hasn't even done it yet.
I know.
And he's won it. He's won it before he even did it.
Totally, yeah. And I do that every single time before a course. I'll make sure I visualize that success and really feel those emotions of success and get excited to actually feel that when it happens later that night. And it's worked pretty well.
Just quickly, sorry.
Yeah.
Would you say that you do that in other aspects of your life? Be that even just like say training, or like you're saying you do other competitions, or just like now, like say,
just like business.
Now
and
that
stuff
you've won, I guess the pinnacle of Ninja Warrior. Like you can return, and you did. You've thankfully won a nice big prize, but like now, like what's coming next? Do you be like, all right, sitting down, Ben Polson, what are we going to do today, baby? Are we going to crush the day? Are we,
I mean, it's a great question, and I think that whole visualization technique, and people call it manifestation, or people have different words for it. I mean, if you're religious, you'd probably call it like prayer, prayer or praying or something like that. It's just my own version of that. Yeah, and I feel like it's totally helped me in a lot of aspects of my life, not just the Ninja Warrior side, but at the moment, one thing that I'm really trying to, I guess, manifest and think about, well, there's two things. One is visualizing myself DJing in front of a huge crowd of people.
Oh, yeah.
I'm being like, I want that moment. Like I'm working hard on my music, and that's one of my goals.
Sick.
And the other one, which is a little hard to visualize, which is reaching 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yep. And, I'm slowly getting there. I'm like 65 at the moment. Earlier this year, I was at 20. So it's growing.
Cool.
And I have I actually printed off a plaque, because when you hit 100,000 subscribers, you get this plaque.
The big old.
Yeah. And that's my, that's the goal at the moment. So I ended up photoshopping my name as if I'd already received it, printed it off, and I've got it on my wall as like the safekeeping for when I get the real one.
Yeah, you'll replace it with the real one. I totally
guarantee. That's happening. That is happening.
It's going to happen, and I did that when I was at 1,000 subs, so it's working.
Yeah.
That's cool. I want to let's go. We haven't even spoken about this, but so you've done 5 seasons. You're on to your 6th season of Ninja Warrior. Mm-hmm. First, second and third season, you were not the winner.
Yes.
How did that shape season 4? Run us through. I want a timeline. Like, how do you, keep showing up every single season and going, I am like, this is mine. This is mine. Like, was it the manifestation, self-belief? Like, where were you at?
I think for me, season 1 was just like, I just want to get on the show. My expectations were just like really low. And so I think I ended up placing in the top 10 season 1, which I was really chuffed about. And I'm like, whoa, awesome. This is crazy. And so season 2 was more of like I just want to back up season 1 and test my skills. Like I was probably a bit more of an ego in season 2. I'm like, come on, I was like top 10 season 1. Here we go. I'm getting recognized, Things
are happening.
And so unfortunately for me, I also backed it up in season 2 and placed slightly even higher. Yeah. And then season 3 happened, which moving into season 3, I really started to think, this is such a great opportunity. Like I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm swinging around having fun, and they're filming me doing it, and I can potentially win a huge amount of money for it. Like this is crazy, right? So I thought, maybe this is a good opportunity for me to actually just go for it. Yeah. And do I actually think I could win this? Like, or am I just kind of playing the game of TV and blah, blah, blah? Yeah. And so I sat down with myself and started to kind of think about it during my meditation. And I was like, yeah, I think I can win this. And I think I should really try and go for it. And then so moving into season 3, I was like on a different mental level, like, let's go, you know? And then I had my worst season ever.
Going to, and what he needs to do. Oh no, Ben.
Right? And you're like, what the hell? What's all this manifestation stuff? It doesn't work. It's all BS.
This is cool though. Like, you're being completely vulnerable here and honest. Like, it didn't work out, but did you, I mean, obviously you didn't quit. Let's get to the punchline.
No.
You didn't quit.
You know, so during that phase and I fell in like the second course, and there's like 5 or 6 courses all up. So I fell pretty early and it really hurt and it sucked. And I think what I learned from that is prior to that season, I'd never really felt, you know, the failure side of Ninja, because I'd always done quite well. And so now that I'd failed quite early, I realized, you know what, I can actually get through this. I worked my way through it. I got over those emotions and that kind of like almost depressive stage, and I got my way out of it. And I was like, that wasn't so bad after all, you know, like even in the worst case scenario, I know I'm going to be okay. Yeah. And I think that was the lesson that I needed to learn in order to just be completely relaxed of any outcome in season 4.
Yeah. It's like you nearly had no expectations because you were like, fuck, well, surely it couldn't be worse than season 3.
Yeah. Then,
Yeah. I think that was, I had to fail in season 3 in order to win in season 4, like for sure. Yeah. I just don't think I could have just smoothly gone into season 3 and just taken the win without experiencing the downside. And because I was always a little bit afraid to fail because of that ego side of I want to back it up. And so when it happened, I was like, okay, I don't care about this anymore. It's happened. It's over and done with. Let's go full send in season 4.
Yes.
And
and full send he did.
So because what I'm reliving visually, right? I feel as though this is like a movie playback. Ben Polson rocks up season 4. He crushes everything. Gets to the end and you're versing Charlie, right? And it's Mount Midoriyama. And you're
Charlie and Zach, so there's 3 of us.
So 3 of you, and you got to climb 50 or is it 25 meters? How big is it?
It was 20 meters in 30 seconds.
I want to know. Run us through Mount Midoriyama.
But I feel like as you're pulling, there's like this flashback of every season, and like it just like. It's just
been
like, it's like
it's a full-on movie.
Season 1, season 2, drops on the salmon ladder. Season 3, season 4, he's pulling, and then like, were you counting while you were climbing? Were you counting the seconds to know that you would?
No,
it was
suspenseful.
So
the whole like Midoriyama in itself
really
is
well.
Yeah, I mean,
did it have 3 ad breaks as well before he get up?
Callum, your visualization is incredible. So you've obviously practiced a bit.
Oh, it's enough. It's so much.
But yeah, I mean, so skipping all the way to the final stage of season 4, and for those that are listening that don't know, it's a 20-meter rope climb in 30 seconds, and it's called Mount Midoriyama. And I think it's from the old Japanese place where they used to do it, which was, I think the location was called Midoriyama or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway. So before we did the rope climb, mind you, one thing we haven't talked about is that by this point in time, we'd already done stage 2 and stage 3 of the grand final. And then we moved swiftly so we'd already done 2 full stages. We're pretty tired.
Like same day.
5 a.m.
Is it the same day? Oh my God.
Yeah, this is all the same day. So it's 5 a.m. and I still hadn't even climbed to the rope, right? So sun's like coming up soon. And we're knackered. And for me, the hardest part was the adrenaline dumps. Like when you go through a huge, awesome thing, your adrenaline's pumping and then it dumps on you and you just feel like you're hungover.
Yep.
And so I had that immediately after stage 2, massive adrenaline dump, and then built up adrenaline to do stage 3, dumped again. And for me, one thing that comes back when I'm sleep deprived and stuff like that is my anxiety is just like skyrockets.
Of course.
So I was standing there getting ready for the mountain and I was like, I'm either going to have a freaking panic attack. Yeah. I was like, I'm either going to have a panic attack or I'm going to achieve the greatest moment of my life. I'm not sure. So for me, I'd built up the rope climbs for a long time and like years leading up to that, probably the start of season 2, I started practicing rope climbs. And the reason was that I didn't want to get to Mount Midoriyama and not be able to climb a rope. It would just be the biggest regret in my entire life to be like, I'm here and I didn't practice. Like, so
for sure.
I was fortunate enough to put in the time and do the practice. And I was also very lucky that the other two athletes, Charlie and Zach, both had never, ever really practiced rope climb, which is lucky for me.
Yeah.
So I was secretly confident that I might have,
for sure,
had it in the bag at that point. But when I did my climb, so I'm standing there, the beeper goes, and I'm just hustling, right? I'm going, climb up, and I've got my technique down, all these intricate things I'm focusing on as I'm doing the climb. And I get to the top, and I hit the buzzer. And at the time, they didn't show this in TV, but at the time, what they told us was that we would each go one after another. I actually went first, even though they showed me last on TV.
Well, of course.
Emotionally
the magic of TV.
Keeping us on the edge of our seats.
They said each of you will go, and then if you get to the top and you hit the buzzer, if fireworks go off, that means you've done it under 30 seconds, but we won't tell you what your time is until you've all gone. And so we each went and we each had the fireworks go off.
That's amazing.
And so at this point in time, right, all three of us are like, whoa, what the hell?
We've
right?
all
This
won.
is crazy.
Voila.
And so that's when you start to get nervous because you're like, it's the title on the line and it's also $400,000, which is nothing to sneeze at.
Wow.
And so we're all standing there and they told us at one point, they're like, two of you are literally 1 second apart, down to the millisecond, you're 1 second apart from each other. And so, it's almost like made for TV at this point. And
at the time, they've got like a briefcase with literally $400K in front of you. Like, what if you've got to get it?
From Deal or No Deal.
That would be amazing. So anyway, I'll cut to the chase. We're standing there, and then they announced my name, and I was just like, holy moly! And at the time, like, a lot of people would get quite emotional, but for me, I was just in such crazy shock and also just sleep deprived.
My guy
and I
hasn't
was
slept
like,
in 24 hours. He's just been worrying the whole day.
Don't hit him with this.
So I was chuffed and I was super stoked. Unfortunately, that's when COVID was really starting to hit. So there was barely anyone there to kind of celebrate. There was no crowd. There wasn't even a photographer to take proper photos. So it was as awesome as it was. It's not like a full like stadium of people going like, yeah. But man, it was awesome. It was great.
Dude,
I'm jacked. I'm fully pumped now.
That's inspiring. I want to go and do some deadlifts or something like huge right now. I feel fired up.
You go and do that, please.
Thank you.
See ya. That is actually incredible. What an awesome achievement.
Yeah. That's so cool to know the actual.
But like, it's always the case. Like, I love, we do have to fail in order to actually enjoy our successes. Yeah. Because if we consistently are going through life kind of just, gradually, climbing up a ladder, then we never see the reward. But when we fail and we get back up, we're like proud of ourselves. Like, you must have been so proud.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. I remember the very next morning, I was this is like where it actually kind of hit me was the next day. And I woke up and I'm sitting there in the hotel room with my partner, Olivia. And I'm kind of just like eating this breakfast, which is like beans on toast, just thinking about like, whoa, what just happened, And then this like sad piano song come on and I was like, damn, those emotions. Ugh. And then I just started bawling my eyes out while eating baked beans and my partner Olivia looked over and she's like, damn, they must be some good baked beans,
You must have missed them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for me, I was just thinking back to, I was definitely thinking back to like my younger self, like going through high school and dealing with all that stuff, but even slightly after high school when I was going through a lot of anxiety issues and just like I was at the point where I just couldn't barely even drive to the shops and go and get some milk because I was so anxious about being alone in the car on the drive and I was anxious about bumping into someone that I might know and have to have a conversation with them because my social anxiety was bad. And I was like, how did I go from there to being on national television doing interviews and then winning this? Like, it's just crazy, So it just got me in the feels there and I was just really appreciative of it.
And even now, like going, say, into YouTube as well, like you've been on TV, but like putting yourself out there, creating content, And obviously being on YouTube, you know, it's engaging sort of stuff. So like you're always coming up with obviously new content, new ideas, putting yourself out there, editing videos non-stop. And it doesn't just happen in a day, and the ideas don't just go like, oh, I'm going to film this today. So like kudos to you as well for like keeping on building on top of everything else. It's not like you've taken a gap year, you know what I mean? Like you're still competing and you're still grinding. So let's go 100K.
100K, yeah. I'm here for this. We're going to celebrate.
Well,
we will bring fireworks to you.
Will you sub?
Yeah.
Got 2 subs right
there
now.
You go.
There you
we're
go.
gonna subscribe. And then
thanks,
anyone
guys.
listening, get over there. Ben, tell us about your YouTube.
Yeah.
What are some videos that you're posting?
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Yeah. Appreciate the shout out, by the way, guys. You know, those extra 2
we're
subs
always
is
here.
like, yes,
we're always here for
motivated
shout
me.
outs.
But yeah, you're right. As kind of Callum was saying, is I wanted to carry that momentum forward from the show.
Totally.
And it was definitely a moment of like, what am I going to do now? Because all of a sudden, before I won Ninja, I was hustling kind of different work here and there and trying to do like freelance videography or find a company to work for. And I was doing interviews. And then I win and I'm like, well, I do now have $400,000 and it literally just arrived in one notification on my phone, by the way, which was terrifying.
Did you screenshot and just like...
I screenshotted it, yeah.
Is this your background now? I would be having that as my screensaver.
Netbank just like comes up, it's like $400,000.
Oh,
literally, it was NetBank just going like, yo, here's 400,000. So yeah, it was a little bit scary though, because like,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Like, to be completely honest, before that moment, I'd never had a $10,000 sitting in my bank account at once, just because I'd earn money and then I'd travel, or I'd earn money and I'd do this. And so to have that amount of money was pretty terrifying. And we can talk about that money at another time, but whenever you want, really. But essentially, I wanted to transition that kind of mentality of what am I going to do now? How am I going to spend my time? And I wasn't so motivated to hustle for random jobs, which was, in a way, it was like, you know, I think people are motivated from 2 things, either desperation or inspiration. And I wasn't desperate for money anymore. Yeah. So I wasn't really motivated to try and find that work. So I needed to be inspired by something. And I think for me, I've always liked YouTube and I've always thought I could do that if I really wanted to. But there's just so many limiting beliefs holding you back. Yeah. And so I was like, well, I got time and money now, the 2 things that everyone wants in this world. Yeah. How am I going to spend it? So I started to just do videos, and it started really slow, but I believe that if I just hustle and just keep working at it, it'll build up. And I just love doing it. You know, it's so much fun. Just like doing podcasts like this. I really enjoy doing this stuff. You know, it's like, I was never doing it to earn money or anything. Yeah.
When it's a passion, you could either get paid or not get paid. It's like, I enjoy doing this, so I could do this in my spare time, or I could do this for a full-time job.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it also translates, like obviously, well, you're a legend, and people seeing you on TV, right? And they're like, this dude is like, he's cool. I want to know more. And then even what you're talking about, having that community at the gym, like that's obviously in person. But I think I feel as though where YouTube's sort of going now is like, it is huge community. Like if you subscribe to someone, it's like, they're like, you know, they're your mate, but like you would tune in every week to watch your video and be like, thank you. Like, I think it's a cool sort of like, you are a part of like, you know, I'm subscribed to a dude on YouTube that like thousands of people, millions of people are, and you kind of like, you feel like you're in a little community.
And like, exactly.
Almost.
And that's what you said before, Ben. Like you said that the reason why you started at Ninja Academy is because you were like, wow, this is actually a sick community. Yeah. And like, now look at you, you're building yourself a community. And like, that's actually epic.
Yeah. I didn't think about it like that, but I guess it's, you're totally right. It does become a bit of a community of people, which, you know, it's, I think it's not as obvious of a community to me, because to me, they are just numbers on a screen, and I know they are people, but it's hard to kind of quantify that. Whereas if you walk into a gym and you see those people every day and
someone's fist bumping you.
But you're totally right. And but you're totally right. I can't exactly, you know, catch up with these people, or I don't know, like maybe that's something I could set up in the future, but it really was about trying to just pass on my knowledge. And I think a lot of the fitness information on YouTube can maybe be not so great, and especially social media in general.
Totally.
It's overwhelming.
Agreed.
like the Instagram people, and there's nothing wrong with people posting like photos of their body or doing anything like that. What I wanted to try and educate people is more about like, it's not necessarily what you see on social media, but it's how you choose to react to it. Yeah, because people are going to be posting whatever they post. Oh, and some people look at it and go, you're a douchebag. And other people will go, I'm inspired by you. Yeah. So what that tells me is that it's not what they're posting, it's how people are reacting. And so I just wanted to teach people like, you got to choose your own reaction instead of just like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's all about that mindset.
And I'm even thinking like, it sort of speaks volumes to you when, you imagine like anxious Ben and social anxiety, but like now someone who has that sort of anxiety can sit in front of a screen and be like, oh, my guy, see you and feel like they've got someone to relate to, especially if we're talking spectrum sort of stuff. But I mean, I think it's sick. Like, I mean, I learned from you the other day on how to do a 100-second hang.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
You're learning. Education is
the
key.
hook grip, which I'm sure you use in that hook grip, which you use in lifting as well. So
yeah,
and then little engaged. Anyway, we'll have to do it. We'll have to have a little
do a little demo with each other. Yep. There you go. Okay, well, Ben, let's jump in. We have asked on our Gold's Gym Instagram. We've put up a little question box and we've got some questions from the followers, the listeners. So I really like this one. This one's my fave. What do ninjas eat and have you ever killed anybody? That's tippy top. Like, we need to know.
Wow.
The followers are wondering.
We're just jumping from like here to here to here.
Baked beans to murder.
Yeah.
Well, ninjas
That's
do.
Great.
Ninjas fucking karate chop.
They do. Well, let's find out
from the source himself.
Wow, what do ninjas eat? I mean, I won't go into heavy detail, but I keep it pretty simple. I'm a pretty plain kind of guy, but I think that's why it's pretty effective for me. For me in diet, my main thing is I just need to make it easy for myself to
I think that's
healthy.
Everyone's kind of.
I think far too many people try and perfect a habit that they haven't even started, and they get super motivated and they try and like buy all these veggies and do this, and then it doesn't last. Totally. For me, I'm more realistic. I'm like, I know what my patience is like and my tolerance for trying to cook perfect things all the time. It's not high, so I just need to make it easy for myself to get that nutrients in my body.
So like ultimately, just something you can adhere to, just like straight up. Adhere to something that's working. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. That's
instead of kind of yo-yoing and being perfect and then like giving it all up and going crap and and then
kill streak.
Have I killed anyone? Let me just
kill streak
try and remember
record. What is it? 0 or are we talking?
I mean, if we're talking Call of Duty, because if we're talking Call of Duty,
what's your KD? What's the KD?
We can't.
No, okay, we won't go there. I want to know about training though, because I mean, I've when I say I've done Cali, I dabbled in Cali, in calisthenics, right? And training like 5 times a week was demanding on the body, just doing pure body weight stuff, anything from pistol squats to pull-ups or muscle ups, anything like that. How many times
the peeps want to know how many hours of training do you do a week?
And are we talking considering when we're talking training, we're talking like
we
anything
want it all
from CrossFit to pull-up sessions at home in the afternoon, just to
yoga.
Cool down,
to yoga.
Go on, tell us.
I think during ninja season, it's more of I would say at least 6 times a week, 5-6 times a week for, like during ninja season, and it'll be predominantly based around muscular endurance kind of stuff. And then when it comes to like the off season, like at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm doing probably like 4 to 5 days worth of CrossFit, maybe only 1 day of ninja specific, and then extra stuff on the side. I think it's changed a lot over the years, and it's even changed a lot since I won Ninja because my motivation isn't as high to train as hard for Ninja. So I think, I don't know. For me, I just have to enjoy it. That's the number one thing. Like if I'm not having fun or if I'm not enjoying it, then I just don't last. And I think that's like most people. So it doesn't matter what the exercise is. It's whether you have fun doing it. And if for some people that's just yoga or freaking, I don't know, like monkey karate or whatever you want to do. I just made that up, but that's not even a thing. But
there you go. You now can host a monkey karate session if you like.
Hell yeah!
Just dabble.
That's it.
And from there, like if say someone wanted to get started, just your average Joe Blow truck driver wanted to get into Ninja Warrior, what would we do? What should I
Joe
do?
Blow truck driver. Yeah, to all the truck drivers out there that want to do
To the
Ninja.
truckies, please listen in.
Truck drivers of Australia.
Yes.
What do we do?
I was watching that show last night, the whole like truck drivers thing. It was actually crazy.
That is a good
the
show.
stuff that
That actually is a good show.
Cruising.
Yeah. Yeah, so to all the the newer people that want to get into it, I mean, first and foremost, like there are actually a lot of ninja gyms around, more than people think.
Yep.
And so just go to Google and type in Ninja Warrior Gym. I'm shocked at how many people message me asking me where a Ninja Warrior Gym is, and then I just tell them, and then I end up Googling and then telling them. So
you just send back.
Yeah, sometimes I have when I'm in a bad mood. I feel like a bit of a douchebag, but so find a ninja gym which is nearby. And if you don't have a ninja gym nearby, not to sell my own program or anything, but a couple of years ago, Olivia and I came up with the Ninja Blueprint, which is an online thing which teaches you a lot about the fundamentals and mindset of ninja. And it is honestly a great resource for people to go and learn the fundamentals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ninja Blueprint.
That's amazing.
And contact ninjas. Ninjas love to talk to new ninjas. So
Cool.
hit up anyone on Instagram or whatever and just ask them a few questions.
Love
That's
that.
amazing. Okay, let's get into the finisher.
Yeah.
All right, so we have
Dun-dun.
some rapid fire questions. Don't think, you just need to answer, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Number 1 is, if you could do one exercise for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Burpees.
Wow.
I'm shocked.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Who would your dream fitness coach be?
Dream fitness coach. God. I would say The Rock.
Ooh,
Just learn
Great
from The Rock.
choice.
that is good.
Yes, that's a really good choice. Okay, stuck on an island with one food source, what is it?
It's got to be sushi.
Sushi.
Good choice again.
I mean, I don't know where you'd find sushi on an island, but
You can make it. We've
it's got to be sushi.
resources.
We didn't have parameters to that, but yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Sushi.
Okay, cool.
Most inspiring ninja that you've had across, the seasons.
Look, apart from my partner Olivia, I would say that some of the ninjas in America. That's a tough question because the guy that actually comes to mind is in a bit of hot water right now.
Right.
But for those in the ninja community, will probably know who he is. But other than that, I would say, I would just have to say, probably my partner Olivia. Go Olivia, you go girl, love you,
Go
babe.
girl.
I like that.
That's amazing.
That's
well,
cute.
this might be the same answer, but who is the best person to work out with?
Yeah, good question. I think, for me personally, probably my housemates and my partner, which, I'm in a house full of ninjas. It's a ninja super house here. So
Wow.
there's 5 of us and we all
Like
train
ninja
together.
compound.
Yeah, there'll be people like when you walk into your house, Ben, just like swinging. Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
They don't walk,
Pretty
they just
much.
hang. And this tees off that. Who's the worst person to work out
Oh,
with?
the worst person to train with? Oh, like anyone that just doesn't stop talking. I think it's the same in like a Gold's gym. If you're there for a training session and people just talk and don't do any reps, that's probably my least favorite.
Sounds familiar. I'm looking at him.
Bro, at least I do stuff too. At least I can talk and work.
Called out.
Well, the last question we've got is the biggest challenge ahead of you this year.
Biggest challenge ahead of me. God, that's a great question. I think the biggest challenge every year is deciding whether I want to come back to Ninja Warrior and try and back it up.
Yes.
The decision's getting harder and harder every single year, to be honest. So, I don't know. I think that along with what am I going to do within the next 5 years? I have no idea. So that's a very tough question. Ask me in a few years.
Okay, well, we'll report back.
Yeah, we definitely will.
hell yeah.
Yeah. Ben, thank you so much for joining us. Let the people know at home where we can find you.
Sure. Yeah. Look, just type my name in, Ben Polson, on Google, and I'm sure it'll probably come up. That's a weird flex, isn't it? But it's
Do
probably
you know
the
what?
easiest way
If I
to.
could flex that, I would.
Yeah, have you Googled me? Because I'm actually on the top.
My photo
Well, if my
comes
name
up.
was like John Smith, I probably couldn't flex that
That's
hard.
true. Yeah,
True.
yeah. Ben Polson's pretty.
But look, all socials, just my name, Ben Polson, Polson, including YouTube and all that
Yeah.
all that good stuff. So, but yeah, Emily and Callum, thank you so much, guys. It's actually been
What an absolute
It's
awesome.
pleasure.
our pleasure.
Yeah, far
Thank you so much for
How-
being our first guest.
How did you find it as the first guest? Were you nervous or what?
No, I was excited. I came in this morning. I was G'd up. Like I saw Em at probably like 7 o'clock, and we were fired. I think we did a couple of flare.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. We were.
I was like, hell yeah.
We were excited. This morning was a good day.
Yeah.
It was a really good day.
Good.
Yeah. It's been great. Thank you so much, man. An absolute honor. Thank you for being the first guest, and thank you for being on To The Good As Gold. Peace.
Of course. Thanks,
Peace
guys.
out.
Appreciate having me on.
Bye. Thanks so much, guys, for joining in to the Good As Gold podcast. I hope you enjoyed it.
Please give us a little like, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a review because that will really help us. If you are enjoying these episodes, don't forget to share our content.
Yep.
We can't wait to be delivering you more episodes.
Yeah. Catch ya.
No need to say yeah.
Yeah. I'm backing you.
Just leave it.
One more time.
We can edit. Thank God.